Hey guys, this video is on buying houses off the code enforcement list. Now this house is not only on the code enforcement list, but right now it's actually on the demolition list. We've been working with the city here in Denison, Texas. It's a secondary market north of Dallas-Fort Worth. We're up here buying a ton of houses, right? We're building up cash flow, buying these properties, either renting them out or through owner finance. Now this property right here, you can see there's code enforcement on the door or on the wall, right? What does that mean? It means that somebody got into a situation where they couldn't handle it anymore. The property got too expensive for them. They couldn't fix it up, and they're sitting here wasting away. We're gonna come in and fix this house up, and I'm gonna walk around with you here in a second. You're going to get to see what this house looks like and see why we thought it was an opportunity and why a lot of people didn't. I think it's going to shock you what it's going to look like when it's done, because we do these over and over and we rip them out, and we've been doing very well with them, and I think a lot of you should be doing more of these. And I know it's scary, but you're going to have to take a little bit of risk to make it in this business, and many of y'all passed up on houses just like this, and maybe after seeing this video you're going to capitalize on these opportunities going forward. Hey guys, we're back here at this house in Denison. I just wanted to quickly run over a case study with you, right? We bought this house for $8,000. We're going to put probably $20,000 in it. We're going to be all in under $30,000. What are we going to do with it? We're probably going to sell it on payments for $5,000 down, $60,000, or just rent it out for $750, $800. Really, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, but it doesn't matter. When you have a house that you're going to have that much room in, you can decide what you want to do with it later. We'll quickly run through kind of what we're doing here and the risk of doing it and why a lot of you are passing up these types of deals. Now, if you see, we've been working for a week or so, digging out the whole house. I'm going to walk around and show you a close-up of this in a second. And I want to show you that these houses that most people run from, we run too, because they're great opportunities to create cash flow monsters for us in our business. You get 20 of these, you'll never have to work again, that's for sure. So this house is literally sitting on the ground. It's literally collapsed. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to dig out underneath the house. This is an old frame house, a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square foot house. So it's a small house. We're going to dig out underneath the house. We're going to lift it up on jacks. We're going to pour new concrete piers, and we're going to make sure to put them in the corners of the property. That's the biggest thing, right? That's your main support center. Then we're going to pull out all those old girders. The girders with the cross beams are the wood beams running underneath the perimeter of the house and underneath the walls inside. We're going to replace all the cross beams, all the rotted wood rot, subfloor, and pull everything out that needs to be replaced, re-support everything, drop the house back down the new concrete piers, and so we now have a re-supported property, right? Then we're going to go through and we're going to replace all this siding on there. We're going to pull off the siding, and we're going to buy this concrete lap siding. You've probably seen it. You're probably familiar with it. You'll get to see what it looks like when we're done with this house. We're going to put that on there. We're going to paint it. We're going to replace the trim and the wood all around the window frames, right? Why did they get all messed up? It's because these houses, these old frame houses, they don't have gutters. They weren't built with gutters, and they weren't made to be built with gutters. I mean, I guess any house could be made to be built with gutters, but they just didn't build them with them very often. And so the water trickles down the walls and it rots out. And so these houses, they just look really worn down and beat up. We'll go ahead and replace that, right? And so we can replace these windows for $80 to $100, do all the siding and do all this outside work for probably $4,000. Now we're going to go up to the roof. Instead of doing a brand new roof and pulling the roof off and getting a dumpster out here, the fastest, easiest way is to do a layover. Now these are low-end properties. We're not concerned about it. We're going to put a layover roof, which means we're just going to lay a new layer of shingles right over this existing one. It's the cheapest, quickest fix to this property. It's not going to affect your ability to cash flow or sell it on owner finance. Now on the inside, I flip a lot of houses. Now to flipping a lot of houses in a higher end price point, but you also own low-end rental properties, I call them Frankenstein houses. You probably never heard it because I think I just coined that term right now. What I do is I take from all the other houses I've been flipping, nicer houses, you know, $300,000 house that's got decent cabinets in it, but they're not retail ready to meet the comps for the properties we're competing against, right? So we pull those cabinets out, we bring them here. We pull toilets out, we bring them here. We pull out anything that we can salvage from another property. We come and piece them together, and then we have this kind of a collective mix of all these different houses put together as one. So that's why I call it a Frankenstein house. It saves us a ton on materials. So we can knock these houses out quick. When you walk around here a second, you're going to see how bad this house really is. We jumped on it, and I think it's going to be a great deal. So I hope you come back to see here in a few weeks when we have the following video, which we'll probably put on the back end of this video, and you'll get to see what it looks like when it's done. Guys, I apologize. It's getting kind of dark out here, but I have to film this video because I won't have another chance to get to before it's finished. So I'm going to quickly walk you through and kind of show you what's going on. So you can see this pink line right here. This is the leveling line, right? This is what the foundation company is showing you how we're trying to figure out if it's level or not. It's actually pretty level except on the back side. If you see the front side, it's actually pretty level, but as you go on the back side, it goes down because the back half of this house actually fallen out from underneath it is sitting on the ground. So right here, you're looking at what's called a Bodart post. These posts are what they used to build these old 19, 20, 30 frame houses on. And right here is where we're going to be pouring a new concrete pier. We're actually going to be pouring them all the way around, especially on the corners, because this is where your support of your house is the main support system, right? This is what's called a girder right here. Also, you're gonna have all your cross beams and all your subfloor, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna lift the house up and replace all the wood rot and all the messed up areas. We're gonna re-support this house because it's pretty compromised at the moment. So I'm gonna kind of give you a quick view so you can see kind of what this house looks like, because I know a lot of you would pass on this house and we did not. I'm gonna show you why. So we've been digging out from underneath this house, right? These are where all the old piers are, these Bodart posts. We are going to replace along each side, we're gonna pour concrete piers. Right here, you can see that the electrical panel and the meter's already been updated. It's already newer. It's already got a riser running through the roof. And so a lot of the expensive things in this house have already been done. It's just a lot of ugly cosmetic work that we have to do. Now look how bad this looks. Now we actually dug this up, but the house, it looks like it's falling apart, and that's because it is. But it can be put back together really easily. And it's not gonna be that expensive. Why? Because wood is not that expensive. And if you have the right guys to do it, you can get it done fairly cheap. I like to say this is kind of like, you know, going on Hollywood Boulevard and finding some homeless guy, right, that looks down on his luck, but you find out later that after you clean him up, he used to be a world-class model. Don't judge a book by its cover, guys. Anything can be fixed up. You can see on the inside right here. It's too dark to go in there, but the entire subfloor in the kitchen's pulled up. There's no cross beams. We're gonna lift this whole house up, re-support everything, and rebuild it out. And I'm gonna bring you back when it's done, kind of show you the end product so you can see the type of opportunities that you're passing up on. If nobody's gonna show you how to do it and what to do, and that these are actually opportunities to make money, you may pass up on it. So I hope you're happy that we're gonna kind of pull back the curtains to show you kind of things we're doing, because if you own 20 houses like this, you will never work again, and you'll live a better life than you would ever working for a boss at some mid-level corporate job, right? So we're gonna get this house done, and I'm gonna bring you back for the end, and I'm gonna film the second half of this video. Hey guys, go ahead and take a look at the property we're working on here in Denison, Texas. Now you can see we basically reframed the entire back half of this property. I'm gonna take you inside so you can get a better look here in just a second. But the reason this house had been compromised, right, was if you look behind us, what you can't see, there's a hill. It has a slight gradation towards the property. So after about 60 years of water and mud and dirt getting rushed up underneath the house, it eventually caused a situation where the house was compromised. There's a bunch of wood rot and wood damage, and the weight of the house basically made it fall in upon itself. So the house was literally sitting on the ground. So how do you fix it? Well, we basically had to tear everything out. All the subfloor, all the cross beams, all the girders, everything was ripped out. Even the back half of this house was completely torn off and reframed. We lifted the house up with jacks. We ripped everything out. We poured brand new concrete piers, which I'll show you as we walk around the property. And then we set the house back down upon itself, relayed all the cross beams, and then we're about to start putting the new siding on, the new windows, the doors, etc. We're about to start putting this house back together. Eventually, it's gonna be a great place for a nice family to live in. And we're gonna kind of show you the before and after and the whole process, so you kind of get a look at what it takes to do one of these types of properties if you have properties similar to this in your area, because a lot of investors walked through this one and passed up, but we didn't, and we're gonna do really well on it. So let's go take a look inside. Hey guys, so go ahead and take a look at this house. We basically reframed the entire back half of the house. I'm gonna show you inside so you can get a better look. Now this is the back entry, the doorway, right, to the old kitchen. In the first video I showed you, remember, you could see the open ground here. There's nothing here at all. And so right here, up against the base of the house, why it seems like the dirt's kind of relatively higher up than as you go towards the back of the house is because it is. There's a lot more dirt on the front of the house because water and debris, after years and years of getting rushed down from the back of the hill, basically built up underneath the house. And right here where you're looking, it had collapsed in upon itself. So we had to tear everything out, lift the house up, set it back down on these concrete piers that you can see right here. So this is a concrete pier that we poured. There's another one right there and another one down the corner. And then we basically reframed everything. So that's what you see here. And we're about to be at the point where we're gonna replumb everything, and we're gonna basically change up how the back half of this house looks. We're gonna lay all the subfloor, put all the siding back on the house, put the windows in, the doors in. And as we go through this project and finish it up, I'll show you before and after pictures. So a lot of you can see that there's a lot of deals that you passed up on that you probably could have done something with if you knew to go ahead and take action on it, right? There's a lot of deals out there. A lot of people went through this property and passed up on it, and we're gonna do really well, even though it's a lot of work, but it just shows that anything can be fixed. Okay guys, this looks kind of like the other video, but a lot has been done. I'm gonna show you why. So what we've done is we've actually lifted the whole house up, poured new concrete piers, and set the house back down. We've also reframed the entire back end of the property. So we'll walk in here so you can kind of take a look. we pulled out all the old cross beams and basically replaced this entire back half of the house. This house has now been lifted up, new piers have been poured, and we set the house back down. So if you look under here, this was one of the old 1930 Bodark posts right here, which you're looking at. Now right here is the brand new concrete pier. The house used to be sitting on these. It was all rotted away, everything had wood rot and water damage. We lifted the house completely up off those posts, supported it with jacks, right? So there's a jack right there. The whole house was supported by these jacks. We poured the concrete piers. There's another one, and you can see along the bottom of the house, we poured all these piers all the way around. So the whole house has been now set back down on a new support system, right? It's not going anywhere for a very long time. So this house is completely structurally sound. It's probably better than almost every house up here, and it's going to be a great place for someone to live for a long time with their family. We're going to put the siding back on, put all these new windows in, put the new roof on, and start putting this thing back together. And we'll get more videos towards the end so you can kind of see what the whole process looks like. Hey guys, I'm about to give you a really good tip on how I make money on these houses when no other investors in my area are doing so and why they pass up. It's because they don't have their systems in place. Now you can see all the new piers and all the new support system has been put under this house. So we lifted it up and set it back down. Now we're about to put it back together. So why do I call these houses Frankenstein houses? Well, if you look in here, you can see all the cabinets in there. We pulled these out of a nicer rehab that we were doing. Now they're really good cabinets and they're completely fine to put in a low-end rental property like this, but they're not okay to leave in a $300,000 or $400,000 house or whatever we're going to sell the other one for when we're done, because they won't get the full top of the market comps because they're older cabinets, but they're still nice. Now I'm going to try not to kill myself. I'm literally going to walk on a crossbeam for y'all while filming just to show you my dedication to you at home. Now, these are pulled out of a nicer house, but most people throw them away. We're going to put them in this property and we're going to save a lot of money. I could have spent $2,000 on cabinets, but I'm going to put them in this house. We also pulled out toilets, windows, we reuse wood, all sorts of different things, right? We're recycling bigger, nicer properties down to lower income properties. So we can save a lot of money. That's how we're able to do these deals when no one else can, because they're not saving old materials. So now if you look out the back of the property, I really mean look out the back of the property because there's no back of the house, right? We've reframed everything. What I wanted to show you was the hill in the back, right? You can see where the water has been rushing down underneath this house. All this was sitting on the ground. We tore everything out, lifted the house, reset the house back down on itself. And you can see we're putting the house back together. What was over here was the kitchen before, but now the kitchen's gonna be over here. We're gonna turn that into a bigger bedroom and we're gonna redesign the house so it's a lot nicer. And this house that a lot of people passed up on before us is gonna make me a cash flow check for a very, very long time. So before you just quickly throw away a lead because you think the house is old and junky, if you get a house cheap enough, anything can be fixed.